by this transverse jugular vein that goes across. Again, this is one that there's no analog in the humans for. We don't have a transverse jugular vein. Down here, we also see an internal jugular vein. Now, you can barely see it on mine. On many cats, you're not going to see that at all because as they put the latex in, it's not that it's not there, but it just does, none of the latex really funnels into it. And then on some, it's as thick as the external jugular because the latex kind of gets in there. But it runs right along here. We talked about these, the left and right. So here's the right common carotid artery. Here's the left common carotid artery running alongside the trachea. And then just next to that, you're going to see the internal jugular. Here's the external jugular. Now, when you get here, where this external jugular is coming, and then from over here, right, we have this kind of one that's associated with going to the arm, that kind of thing. So where those two merge together, right, so this makes like a little Y right here. The base of that Y, that's the brachiocephalic vein. And then so we have a right brachiocephalic here, we have a left brachiocephalic here, and then when those right and left brachiocephalic veins merge together, that's where you see the origin of the superior vena cava, or pre-cava technically in the cats, but the analog of our superior vena cava coming down.
So for all quadrupeds, it's the pre-cava and post-cava?
Pretty much, that's right, because it's not oriented superior and inferior, it's oriented anteriorly and posteriorly.
Gotcha.
And so posterior, post-cava, anterior, they just say pre-cava. Here.
Superior vena cava? Right?
Superior, exactly. What we're referring to as superior vena cava. When you look over here at the heart, you can see again, like here's that kind of coronary artery we were talking about that kind of goes, so this is right side ventricle, this is left side ventricle, here's your left artery. So right ventricle coming right out of there, boom, there's your pulmonary trunk. You can see that there. And then over here, you can see the aorta coming out and arching around. Okay, can you see that aorta?
Oh, all right.
Here's the pulmonary trunk.
Yeah.
And then here's the aorta. So there's two vessels, we said, coming off of the aorta. The first one is the brachiocephalic trunk. As we follow that brachiocephalic trunk up, let me kind of just fold this off to the side. Then it's going to give rise to the left common carotid artery, the right common carotid artery, and the right subclavian artery. And then as we come back over here, here's where the left subclavian artery is coming directly off of the aortic arch.
Okay, now up here, because my thing cut out, this right here.
So when we look at these veins right here, you can see, again, this is the jugular, and then this is the subclavian right here. So where the subclavian and the external jugular merge together, they form the brachiocephalic. So here's my right subclavian, my right external jugular. Where they come together, they form the right brachiocephalic. Left brachiocephalic and right brachiocephalic come together, cephalic come together and make the superior vena cava, or pre-cava.
Could you grab that again? Because mine didn't. Lost focus. That's the...
I'm like, oh my gosh.
This is what we call the... Yeah. This is what we call the hepatic portal circulation. So remember, the hepatic circulation is special because it's draining the blood from the digestive viscera, taking it to the liver first before allowing it to go into general circulation. So here for the veins of the hepatic portal system, they've injected it with yellow latex instead of blue. So see all these little yellow veins right here throughout so this is blood that's draining from the intestines. Well, that blood potentially could contain toxins and other harmful things that you've ingested, so we want it to go to the liver. So all those mesenteric veins merge together and make a single, what we call superior mesenteric vein. Now, draining blood coming off from the side over here, we have the gastrosplenic vein, which is draining blood from the stomach and the spleen. And then when those two merge together, they make the hepatic portal vein. And you can see how that hepatic portal vein is going on up here, up into the liver. And then the hepatic vein will come out. It's kind of hard to see this without tearing it all up. And very quickly come into the inferior vena cava. So we saw the inferior vena cava down here. But we can also see it above the diaphragm. You can see I haven't dissected that out yet nicely, but you can just kind of see here it comes up. And then just like the superior vena cava empties into the right atrium, the inferior vena cava is going to come up here and empty into the right atrium as well.
Okay. So down here, when these branches down here, what are all those?
Well, the only ones we really got to worry about are these right here, which are the renal veins. Okay. So draining blood from the kidney. You can see the right kidney over here. Flip all this stuff on this side. There's the left kidney, and you can see again, I haven't really see how all those membranes, if I do that, they actually lie behind the parietal peritoneum. So I've kind of dug through the parietal peritoneum here, so you can kind of see that.
Yeah, this little thing right here.
Yeah, that's the greater omentum. That's a mesenteric tissue that stores fat.
Okay.
We'll get to all that.
So that, and
digestive
that's
stuff
different from
later.
like a viscera, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a visceral membrane.
Okay.
You know, the viscera would be like the intestines and the stomach and the
Gotcha.
pancreas and stuff. That's what we mean when we say viscera. But these peritoneal membranes wrap around those abdominal viscera. Not all of them. So like the liver is not covered in peritoneum, but the stomach is, and most of the intestines.
Like a cat apron.
Part of the pancreas here. You can see. This is actually the spleen right here.
All right, thanks.